Thank you, everybody. If we could go ahead and get started, we're going to do our roll call.
Jason Olive.
Here.
Warren Moxton.
Here.
Joel Worth.
Here.
Kurt Roars.
Here.
Joaquin Serrano.
Here.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Let's stand for a Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence, please. Thank you, everybody. All right. Our next order of business is to approve the minutes of the September 27th meeting. Could I get a motion, please?
Mr. President, I move to approve the minutes of the September 27th, 2023 regular board meeting.
Thank you. Could I get a second?
I'll second.
All right. All those in favor of approving the minutes of the September 27th board meeting, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Thank you. Next, we need to approve and ratify payroll and accounts payable vouchers. Could I get a motion, please?
Mr. President, I move to approve and ratify payroll and accounts payable vouchers.
Thank you. Could I get a motion, second, please?
Second.
All those in favor of approving and ratifying payroll and accounts payable vouchers, please say aye.
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 All right. Thank you. Mr. Narducci, is there any correspondence tonight?
President of Olive, members of the board, there's no correspondence at this time.
All right. That brings us into talking about our foreign exchange students. Ms. Guevara?
Good evening, President Olive and board members. This year, we are delighted to have 17 students from 8 countries who are attending our high schools through various foreign exchange programs. The countries represented are Germany, Italy, Spain, Sweden, Japan, France, Brazil, and Argentina. Students in a foreign exchange program, can you please come up to the front of the boardroom? In CUSD, we are fortunate to have foreign exchange programs and are excited to have these young people share time with us throughout the school year. Foreign exchange programs have many educational benefits and are a testament to the inclusive culture of CUSD. We're going to hand you a microphone and have each student briefly introduce themselves. When you take the microphone, please tell us your name, your hometown, your host family, and one thing about yourself. Maybe what you like about living in Chandler or a favorite hobby, and the governing board members will have a pin to provide each of you.
Hi everyone, Frederick, I'm from Germany. I live in Berlin. There, I'm 16 years old. I go to ACP High School. What I like about living like in the Valley, Chandler area is it's pretty warm here. And there's a lot of like nice hikes around here, so that's nice.
Hi, I'm Tommaso. I'm from Italy, near Venice. I go to the Paris High School. I like here. It's quite heat, but it's good. And I like hike, so it's a good place.
Hello everyone, my name is Juan. I'm from Tandil in Argentina. I am 15 years old and I'm currently going to Perry High School. I'm staying with the Olive family and I like living around the Chandler area because it's hot, but it's like really nice around here. And I like soccer.
You guys want to introduce your host families?
Yeah, I'm here with the Perisic family. I live in Gilbert, and yeah, it's a nice area.
Yeah, I live with the Kapoor family, and they live in Chandler.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, everybody. We have a Chandler pin for all you guys. You guys that are in the Rotary, you're going to have to put that on your jackets. All right. Thanks for coming, guys. All right. Thank you. Yeah. Come on, shake everybody's hand here. Oh, yeah. And our host families. I'm one of them, too.
Real quick, guys, can I get a picture of everyone together?
you.
All right, thank you, everybody. Our next order of business is to get the report from Castile High School. Riley, take it away.
Good evening, President Olive, Superintendent Narducci, board members, and all of CUSD. My name is Riley Martinez, and I am the student body president at Castile High School. I am honored to be presenting to you all today. This year has been filled with so many great events, and we are only one quarter in. We are so proud of what we have accomplished so far and are looking forward to our best year yet. First, we kicked off the year with the second annual CUSD Senior Clash Wars. It was a fun-packed night where seniors from each Chandler school competed for the championship. Such competitions included tug-of-war, head shoulders cup, obstacle course races, and water balloon launching at Mr. Narducci himself. This was our second year hosting, and we are proud to say that it was a huge success. It was an awesome opportunity to get to know the other seniors in CUSD that we don't always interact with. The friendly competition was a bonding moment for sure, and not like it matters or anything, but Castile won. Next, we have our biggest event of the year, Homecoming on Route 66. Homecoming week was so much fun. It was filled with events throughout the week to get us excited for the dance. On Tuesday, similar to Senior Clash, we had our 9th through 12th Clash Wars. Students from each grade fought for the title of Clash Champs in a night of laughs, screams, and snack talking. It came as no surprise when the seniors won. Our homecoming parade was the next morning, where clubs, grades, and teams built floats to present to the school. They circled campus in an awesome display of craftsmanship and creativity. Among those were the cars displaying our homecoming royalty, which are crowned by Dr. Camille Castile each year. We are so grateful for her continuous support. Next up, the homecoming game. We love continuing our tradition of a total blackout. It's safe to say that our stands were packed, filling the stadium with the energy that contributed to a Colts win. On Friday, we hosted our very first car show. Food trucks, crazy cars, and music filled our campus, letting us feel all the pre-homecoming excitement. Finally, the homecoming dance was a perfect night hosted by our gracious neighbors at Rock Point Church. Members of the community donated their vintage cars for the night to add to the ambiance of Route 66. It fit the theme perfectly, and we cannot thank the many volunteers enough for helping us put on such an amazing event. Each year, our homecoming weeks seem to get better and better. They make some of the best memories we will hold from high school, and after such an electric week, one thing is for sure, Castile knows how to have fun. It is undeniable that we are extremely proud of our athletic program at Castile. Currently, our football team has won 4 out of their 7 games. We are so excited to celebrate our seniors this Friday for senior night. Meanwhile, our returning state champion girls flag football team is continuing to make history as this is its first year being run as a sanctioned sport. We could not be more proud of them. This year, our badminton team is the strongest and largest it has ever been. They would like to thank their coach, Coach Hassel, for all of her incredible support. In addition, our girls volleyball is also excelling further than ever before as number 2 in their division and a part of the Super 10 best teams across all divisions. Also, our swim and dive team, which competed earlier today to qualify for state. Best of luck to them. And last but not least, a huge congratulations to our men's golf team, which recently competed in a tournament in Florida and is ranked 10th in the state. Another thing we like to brag about is our amazing fine arts program. First, our band and orchestra, who have both worked hard to complete their first concerts of the year. Our marching band also recently placed 2nd in their division at a competition. We would like to spotlight our chamber choir, Encore, which was selected to perform the national anthem at the CUSD golf tournament in September. In addition, our Project 15 dance company, along with other Chandler dance groups, performed at a CUSD dance showcase. And finally, we would like to recognize our company theater group, which is host to 2 students, Austin Duran and Brielle Norley, who were awarded with Thespies for stage management and solo musical performance at the International Thespian Festival. Something that stands out this year above those previously is the insurgence of our Hype Club. The club meets each week to discuss game themes, publicity for events, and how to improve our student section and spirit as a whole. We are proud to say that Hype Club is responsible for our student section being nationally recognized for its spirit, student involvement, and creativity. To us, this is huge because Castile is a newer school compared to most others in our district, and this is only proof of the growth we have accomplished and hopefully a foreshadowing of the traditions that are in store for the future. Speaking of traditions, Castile's excited to announce something new we will be starting next week. Rumble on Riggs. This is a rivalry between two CUSD high schools located on Riggs, Castile and Basha. In honor of our schools facing each other in football next Friday, we are promoting a Chandler Care Center supply drive. We will see which school has the most donations after kickoff. While we love celebrating our larger groups at Castile, we also like to spotlight the accomplished individuals that fill our campus. First, senior Catherine Pearson, a semifinalist for the prestigious National Merit Scholarship Program. To qualify for such an award, Catherine scored a 35 on the ACT, a 1460 on the PSAT, and has made a 4.0 GPA throughout high school. She will find out if she is made a finalist in February. Another is senior Austin Duran. As a capstone project to earn a Fine Arts seal in his diploma, Austin has taken it upon himself to organize, choreograph, and direct a show choir. His group made its debut at the Fall Choir Concert. We are so proud of them both. Finally, I would like to mention our student government. This council has worked tirelessly throughout the quarter to plan and put on events, requiring them to stay after school on numerous occasions. I could not have asked for a better group of hardworking individuals, which is why I would like to introduce them now. First, my secretary, Ivy Brooke, our Spirit Commissioner, Reagan Svensson, historian, Jenna Mitchell, social media and marketing coordinator, Audrey Vera, and our class presidents, senior class, Ella Church, junior class, Kate Foster, sophomore, Grace Weir, and our freshman, Kira Pilcher. And finally, our senior representatives, junior representatives, sophomore representatives, and freshman representatives. That's all for what's happening at Castile. Thank you so much for your time. We hope to see you at one of our many events planned for this quarter. Go Colts!
All right. Thank you for coming, everybody. Could you give a shout out to your sponsors, maybe?
Oh yes, of course. We have Miss Fredrickson and Miss Culver, the two most amazing humans in the world.
All right. Thank you so much for coming down, everybody. We appreciate it. It's good to see you all.
Thanks for your leadership, ladies. Thank you.
All right, thank you, everybody. Next thing we have to do here is we're going to do superintendent current events.
Well, I don't know if I could do it as well as she just did it, so that we'll try.
All right.
Castile has really set the bar. President Olive, board members, welcome back from fall break. We have a quick update for you. Niche.com announced that Chandler Unified is ranked the #1 district in the best school district division in the Arizona category. Additionally, 5 of our high schools are in the top 100 best high schools in the country. When the public thinks of success, I hope they think of CUSD students, CUSD staff, and CUSD community, as we expect the best and we give the best on given time. And then also going above and beyond, as you've seen with many of the presentations we've had today, especially in the IB program too. CUSD is an exceptional place from learning and teaching because of you and the programs you support, so we thank you very much for your continued support. Congratulations to Chandler High School Theater Arts stagecraft teacher, Stephanie Likes, an Arizona Educational Foundation 2024 Arizona Teacher of the Year semifinalist. She was one of 15 teachers honored at the AEF Arizona Teacher of the Year Awards on Saturday at Madison Theater for the Arts, and I know Mrs. Mosden was there for that, which was held on October 14th. She also was a top 10 awardee, and so very, very proud of her efforts as well. Just a side note to this, my family had the opportunity to be in New York for the first week of break, and we were able to see Stephanie Likes' son, Casey Likes, who attended Chandler High, as he is the lead role in Back to the Future. And so we were able to go to that musical, and he did a fine job and represented Arizona very, very well. Today I had the opportunity to host student leaders from all over the school district here at the district office for our superintendent, student advisory group. We discussed leadership and student leadership traits. I'm very impressed with their why. They were asked why why leadership was chosen for them, or why they chose leadership. And I know our schools are in good hands with this group of young leaders. They were all above self-interest and looking out for others and wanting to make their schools a better place with school climate and a sense of belonging for all students. Did you know that among other things in October, it's also National Principals Month? And so thanks to our principals for all they do every day. We'd like you to check this short video out.
What I love about Miss Lucas Sheffield is she is always helpful and she makes the school a better place.
He's always outside in the mornings waiting for people. He's always talking to you and he's always participating in everything. We love Mr. McCoy so much and we hope that you do too.
Without Mrs. Whitlark, the world wouldn't be the same. We love you, Mrs. Whitlark.
Miss Reddy is an incredible principal. One of her most outstanding qualities is her genuine connection with each and every student.
At Riggs, we love Mrs. Lander because she is compassionate, funny, and awesome.
We love you, Mrs. Lander.
We love our principal, Mrs. Williams, because she's so thoughtful and caring, and she does an amazing job leading the students.
Mr. Phillips is just such a great principal. He shows up to all our games, no matter what the sport is, no matter what the extracurricular activity is.
I love Victoria because she's nice and she keeps kids safe.
I think Miss Blow is a great principal of the school Payne because she enforces the rules of the school.
Miss O'Neill is special because she does wonderful things for our school, Sansing Elementary.
Mr. Smith is a great leader and he's a great principal and he also makes sure that the school is at the best it can be.
Yeah, he is very kind, respectful, and is willing to do stuff for people.
Mrs. Walter is always smiling and she's very nice. She goes around the school checking each classroom. She's very helpful and makes sure everyone is safe. Mrs. Walter deserves to be Principal of the Month or even better, Principal of the Year.
Ms. Patterson is the best principal because she cares about all the students here at Perry. She shows great school spirit by coming to all the sports events. She's a really good person and she really cares about us, and also she brings the basketball team snacks every Friday.
I dressed up as Mrs. Nesbon because she is brave and confident. So why I love Miss Judy is because she is super duper duper kind to the parents, teachers, and students. I like that Miss Freeman's kind. I like that Mrs. Freeman is the best teacher, principal ever.
They have super duper powers, and they do. And I just want to let the audience know and parents that are out there possibly listening, there's plenty of time left this month to let your school leader know their value. They have a difficult yet important job, as they are truly creating pathways for success for every single student. And so if you get that opportunity, many of them are out in the crosswalk when they're short people. They're in the cafeterias serving food. They're wiping down tables. They're on the playground helping mediate situations. So there's plenty of opportunity to access them. So find some time to tell them about their super duper powers, because truly, without our committed principals and administrators at our sites, we couldn't get this important work done. So thank you, and happy Principals Month to all of our principals here in Chandler Unified School District and across the state of Arizona. This morning at Hamilton High School, they held a breakfast for our AP scholars. After breakfast, the students received certificates and were celebrated by a keynote speaker from Arizona State University. The number of AP scholars at Hamilton High is another great example of the rigorous opportunities afforded to students when they enroll in Chandler Unified. And so we take every opportunity we can to make sure that they're aware of, that they know we're aware of their success. New this school year, we're proud to announce that virtual open houses will be utilized to promote enrollment at all of our schools in CUSD. This will provide an innovative way for parents and students to learn about CUSD from the comfort of their own homes. The link to join the open houses will be posted online prior to the event starting. The first virtual open house is October 25th from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. So look on our website to find out how you can look and see about this virtual open house, which will lead to possible tours of the schools and for kindergarten to actual and early registration opportunity for you to view schools across our district. We're holding our second round, so if anybody in here wants to pick up a few hours, you have to listen to this because this is great. We're holding our second round of Kids Express walk-in interviews on Wednesday, October 25th from 1 to 7 p.m. Stop by CUSD District Office right here, right where you are. For those people that are watching, 1525 West Fry Road, Chandler, Arizona, to take your next step in your career in child care, working with CUSD's K through 6th graders before and after school programming. Here's what Community Ed offers. They offered paid time off. They offered benefits. Never work an evening or weekend if you don't want to, so we have some flexible scheduling. Advanced opportunities, and an opportunity for workforce development into other district positions, including being a teacher. So a great opportunity for even our younger students and to be able to be involved. So again, join us for this walk-in interview, which will take place on October 25th from 1 to 7 p.m. Finally, just want to remind the public that the next 5 years of school calendars were approved last board meeting and were posted on our website. Hope everyone had a restful break, and hope our board had a restful break. And we are ready to hit the ground running this second quarter, and I know our staff is. So welcome back.
All right. Thank you, Frank. Next, we get to our citizens' comments. So we have 6 or 7 people tonight, depending on if one person speaks. So we'll get 3 minutes apiece. We got enough time for that. This is the time for the public to comment. Members of the board may not discuss items that are not specifically identified on the agenda. Therefore, pursuant to ARS 38-431.01H, at the conclusion of the open call to the public, individual members of the public body may respond to criticism made by those who have addressed the public body, may ask staff to review a matter, or may ask that a matter be put on a future agenda. However, members of the public body, the school board, shall not discuss or take legal action on matters raised during an open call to the public unless the matters are properly noticed for discussion and legal action. That brings us to our first person, Mrs. Projanovsky.
Hello, good evening. Thank you for allowing me to speak. My name is Zaina Prjanovsky. I am an Arizona certified teacher and a community member. My children go to Chandler Unified School District schools, and they've graduated or are currently enrolled. As a community member, I spoke recently with a realtor in my area that stated that corporate relocations ask questions about the schools in the community where the people will be relocated to, and that he said that they overwhelmingly choose homes in the CUSD boundaries. I was really pleased to hear that in my discussion with him. When I moved here with my family, I looked at the community school as well. Thanks to the voters approving these overrides, Chandler creates a clear path of education in the community. However, in the 2017, the override passed by 64%. In 2020, the override passed by 55%, so there's a declining gap there. The district should do more to educate voters in between their requests. Signs, like thank you notes, thank you for voters for the projects that are in process, so they're visual. Due to the overrides or bonds that are, it's also a form of transparency to show where the dollars are going. Let them know also that the upgraded playground equipment or the remodeling is thanks to the voters passing these overrides. Some items also to consider when additional funding might come in is additional paraeducator assistance to schools, especially those that might be Title I schools that need that extra support. Also, in light of the recent math curriculum night that we had yesterday evening, support the resources for teachers to start the math fluency in the primary grades across levels, and those professional developments for teachers to make it uniform throughout the district, seeing that we only get 60 minutes of math per day. It's a bit of a tight schedule. I understand my son, he had also had like anxiety in regards to not having fluency being just the regular, across the grade levels. So that would be a great way to instill confidence in children. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ms. Prjanovsky. Next, we have Tracy Ireland.
Hi, everyone. Good to see you again. I'm here again because of the curriculum and because I was here for the override, and Ms. Berry was a nice presentation. You go quick, but I got the gist of it. I think it's great to make sure we have wonderful buildings and wonderful sites and equipment for the students, but what I care about is the students inside, and I care about their achievement level going up, and that's where my concern is. And as I've spoken before, I really am not happy with the mind math. I'm hearing the students are flunking, the teachers don't like to teach it, and really it's not helpful. And I know we're in the middle of the school district, but I know this country, we're so great and so innovative and so many things we do. I think we can make a quick fix on that a little bit better than maybe some of you think. I think all of you got great abilities. If you put your heads together as a way to bring back a better math curriculum for these students, and instead of letting them go on for 6 more months, failing this, and then putting them on to the next level. And it's also bothering me that it's a classic level getting the same kind of curriculum. I went to a fast food restaurant with a friend. The young man was about 17 years old. He couldn't even give change. He wasn't even able to do the math in his head, and it was actually 43 cents. He either gave us too much one time, too less. This is what I'm seeing out and about when I go around. And that's taking the success away from the children. And I also know we have, like, as you see, exchange students and a lot of people coming in from other countries. They're expecting a lot from our country because we're known to be a good country. And I'd like them to have a higher level than maybe what they're having, especially in the Hispanic community. I think Galveston is pretty low on their I don't know if the right term, but low on their stats on learning. And I think that it's what, 14 to 1, 14 students to 1 teacher, so they have a lower level of students per teacher. They should really be doing higher, and I would like to see them have a better success rate out into the field. So I really ask you to please consider this. You guys are all wonderful people up here. You ran to be up here because you care about the schools. The parents care about the reading, writing, and arithmetic, and we want our children to have great success. And we want to look back and say, hey, it was because they were Chandler Unified. But right now, I'm not so sure I can say that. And I want to thank you for your patience in listening with me this evening. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Next we have Ronnie, I'm sorry if I mess up your name, Cavaluzzi? Okay, thank you.
Good evening, Superintendent Narducci, board members, and community members. Thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight. It's the first time I've been speaking here. I've been coming to meetings for a year and a half regularly, and I felt as though there's an issue that I wanted to discuss. I moved to Chandler about a year and a half ago. Oh, can you hear me? Am I speaking? Yeah? Yes, good. I moved to Chandler about a year and a half ago, and I've attended almost all of the CUSD board meetings since then. I've also been a staff member and a volunteer at Galveston Elementary School. I've helped tutor children after school and design activities for them through an after-school program called ICANN. I've also been a presenter for Arts Masterpieces, and I see up on the board tonight one of the lessons that I taught for kinder with making rabbits and other animals with cotton balls that the kids really enjoyed. Okay, so to be clear, I'm not here to advocate for any point of view about what should be included or excluded from school curriculum or libraries. I am here to advocate for more proactive parent involvement in the committee that chooses this curriculum and library selection. My understanding is that as of now, parents have a 60-day reactive time period to review the committee's selections, but they are not on the selection committee. At a law conference I went to, presented by the Arizona School Board Association on September 6th in Scottsdale, I learned that parents have the right to be on this selection committee. So I'm here to advocate that board members and the superintendent take an active role to invite parents to participate in the CUSD decision-making by being on the selection committee. When the board members and the superintendent attend numerous events at schools and all kinds of district events like the opening of the Hope Institute and like the groundbreaking for Galveston, the parents are there, grandparents are there, the school board and the superintendent can introduce themselves to parents and talk about inviting them to become more a part of the selection committee. I realize that often a parent has many daily responsibilities, and making time to do this kind of selection committee may be difficult.
30 seconds.
But their parents who live in the district may be retired and are looking for ways to participate in their community. So whenever you go out, board members and superintendent, whenever you're out in the public, please start to educate the people and the parents and the grandparents about the selection committee. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mrs. Cavalucci. Next we have Don Shim.
Good evening. My name is Dawn Shim. I use they, she pronouns. It's been a while, but I'm a senior at Hamilton High School. Recently, 2 members of Turning Points USA assaulted my friend and my mentor, David Boyles, who's an ASU professor. We have been here before addressing the presence of Turning Points in Chandler Unified Schools, namely Perry. We have told you before that they perpetrate violence, especially when speakers involved with the Proud Boys were invited to campus. It is not only us who believe this. Recently, Chaparral High School here in Arizona canceled a similar publicly promoted event, doing the right thing for student safety. Even you know of the violence Turning Points USA may invite to a campus, as a board member here, namely Board Member Roars, has stated that 4 units of police were deployed the day the speaker was invited to Perry. This was said to me the day that I came here and I asked you what was going on with that speaker. Previously, we were told by Board Member Roars that we shouldn't speak on this issue because, quote, you can't believe everything that you read online. We warned you about the violence that Turning Points USA promoted that we read about in reputable news sources. We told you that the member went to a protest and he was involved in a very violent altercation, and that was incredibly concerning to us. However, it hurts me to say that we learned about the effects that Turning Points USA can have in a very personal way last week, and I'm horrified at what happened to my friend. Pending the investigation against Turning Points committing senseless acts of violence against educated individuals, against individuals who are who work at schools, like my friend, Professor David Boyles, you must halt all Turning Points USA activities on the CUSD 80 campuses, especially Perry High School, immediately. This is really, really imperative because Turning Points USA currently has this school district and members of this board, your personal names and things like that, on their list as dangerous school board members. Now, I know that you are not dangerous. I know that you represent this community, and it's really important to me that there are people here who represent the interests of the people. But Turning Points USA is trying to weaponize that. They're trying to fearmonger, and that is unacceptable. What happened to my friend last week and the violence that was perpetrated against them is unacceptable, and we can't have that kind of rhetoric on campus that students are involved in a club for. That is not okay, and you need to change that. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ms. Shim. Next we have Hayden Nguyen.
Hello, Superintendent and members of the board. Thank you for your time. My name is Hayden Nguyen, and I'm here with my friend Don Shim to talk about Turning Point USA, its safety, its role on campus, and specifically about how there is a lack of transparency surrounding what TP USA does and what dangers they pose to us, our students and our teachers on our campuses. Now, let me just give you an example. Students, per the Turning Point USA website, are urged to collect student IDs as incentive for, quote, Patriot points by tabling on campus. Collecting student IDs is a blatant breach of security, of safety, and of our students' privacy. This is a part of a larger piece of rhetoric, Turning Point's dangerous rhetoric, which is highly hypocritical, which is dangerous to our students and dangerous to our education. This rhetoric being used by Turning Point USA to justify this violence, to justify these breaches of privacy, specifically against our friend, Professor David Boyles, eerily echoes when we had come to this board meeting last year, when we come to this board meeting now to remind you that Turning Point USA still poses a danger to our students on campus right now. Specifically, that they claim that people at CUSD, that people of this board are indoctrinating young people, when in truth, our curriculum has nothing to do with that. We know that this board serves the people of Chandler, and Turning Point USA simply tries to use their rhetoric and their aggressive gestures in order to target people of this board and our students. These hostile and aggressive tactics used by Turning Point are unacceptable to students. They should be unacceptable to you as people who are targeted, and unacceptable to teachers in general. Now, this is why we need to urge CUSD 80 to suspend the activities of Turning Point USA while they're still under investigation for their involvement in this attack that was against our friend David Boyles. And we also would like that the club Turning Point USA, the activities of the students of the Turning Point USA, their club is more clarified to the public of what they do because of the lack of transparency and what danger that poses to students on campus. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Nguyen. Next, if Lisa Calderon is still here, you can speak. Okay. Next we have Brett Wingate.
Good evening. I was going to speak, and I am going to speak, about curriculum changes, but I did want to respond really quickly. I happened to view the video that the two students are referring to, and the professor clearly swung at a person that was filming a discussion between the two. So I don't know that there is a lot to investigate. I think it's pretty obvious what was going on. In addition, I have attended Turning Point events. They have been very peaceful and very educational. So,
try to keep to what was on your card about curriculum changes.
I will. I just was responding very quickly.
Okay, that's not what we do here. You can't do that.
Thank you.
You can have the rest of your time if you want to talk about that stuff, though.
That's fine. So my original reason for wanting to speak is about the curriculum and the changes that I've listened to. It's concerning to me that over the last 6 weeks to 2 months, we've had a discussion about the math curriculum. At no time have I heard anybody reference that the improvement was going to happen, that there was a standard of improvement. If in medicine, if I was going to be prescribing a therapy, I would have done some sort of an evaluation and given you a statistical idea of how much better this therapy is than the standard therapy. It seems to me that that should be, at a minimum, the first things that you should ask if you're making curriculum changes. Now, the reason I'm actually talking about this is because there was a story that ran across my news feed that I read last week, that the ACT scores are at a 30-year low for math, for reading, and for writing. That means that the students that we are graduating today have less competency than those that were in school in 1994. And yet, we continue to make changes after change after change. And I will tell you this, I have been underwhelmed by the changes that have happened
30 seconds.
in this district from the time that I had my students here. I don't know if any of you remember Mathland, but basically we purchased very expensive Lego sets for our teachers to teach a simple concept, and it was in and out. And we've now had this changes in math since, and I've yet to hear any improvement, any statistical improvement. And it would be the
Time has expired.
All right, thank you. That brings our public comment to an end. Next order of business for us is the consent agenda. Mr. Narducci.
Sorry, pretty quick there, President Olive. Give me 1 second here.
All right.
President Olive, members of the governing board, I present the consent agenda for approval as printed and published.
Okay, thank you. Could I get a motion to approve consent agenda?
I move the consent agenda.
Thank you. Could I get a second, please?
Seconded.
All right, thank you. That brings us to voting on the consent agenda as published and on the website. All those in favor of approving consent agenda, please say aye.
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 All those that oppose? All those that abstain?
Abstain.
Okay, thank you. Motion carries. Next, that brings us to our action items. Our first action item tonight is approval of hearing officer's recommendation to expel student 2023-1018. Could I get a motion, please?
Mr. President, I move to approve the hearing officer's recommendation to expel student 2023-1018.
All right, thank you. Could I get a second, please?
I'll second.
All right, is there any discussion on this item? All right, then we'll go ahead and vote on it. All those in favor of expelling student 2023-1018, please say aye.
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 Abstain.
Thank you. Motion carries. Next, that brings us to action item 10.02 regarding the hearing officer's decision to recommend hearing officer's decision and recommendation in the matter of Simon J. Ocampo, teacher dismissal proceedings. Is Mr. Ocampo here? All right, in that case, could I get a motion to approve the decision of the hearing officer in the matter of Mr. Ocampo?
Mr. President, I recommend approval of the hearing officer's decision and recommendation in the matter of Simon J. Ocampo.
Thank you. Could I get a second, please?
I'll second.
All right, is there any discussion? All right, all those in favor of approving the recommendation of the hearing officer in the matter of Mr. Ocampo, please say aye.
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 All right, that carries. Next, that brings us to our information items. Student activity reports. Those are published on our website for everybody's use. And now we have our CUSD agenda roadmap. Coming up next meeting, that is November 15th. We're talking about outstanding students with Dr. Fletcher, seeing what our letter grades are, talking about statewide assessments, also talking about effective resource management and as far as communication plans, marketing, and enrollment. And then recognizing that it's going to be National Native American History Month. And then looking at junior and senior high school course catalogs. That brings us around to our board member current events. Let's see what everybody's been up to. Is there anything from you, Mr. Roars?
Yeah, it's been referred to a couple times that we did have a parent meeting on math curriculum last night, and I'm not going to go into the details of that because it's incredibly complicated. But I did want to...
I couldn't hear. I'm sorry.
It's hard to hear you.
Okay, can you hear me better? All right, there was a meeting on math curriculum with parents last night, and I wasn't going to go through the details because it's very complicated. But I did want to say I was very pleased with the interaction between the parents and the district representatives there. was very complete, it was very respectful, and the attitude was trying to work towards a common solution to a very difficult problem. So that's the sort of thing I think we want to see in our interactions between the community and their parents and the school district. Second thing, Friday night football. Chandler is at Bosch. It's the number 3 versus the number 4 ranked school in the state. If you've never seen a high school football game, go to this one. It's going to be a collision. This is some of the highest quality football in the state and probably in the country. So I'll be there. Hope you will too. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Patty, is there anything you would like to talk about?
Yeah, thank you, President. I had the opportunity to welcome back world language students at Basha High School for our first multilingual career day there yesterday, so that was exciting. The staff that helped support and organize this did a phenomenal job, as did the fellow panelists, and our students had wonderful questions that I was really happy to participate in answering. As we revisit every board meeting, we have our Portrait of a Learner initiative, and one of our driving factors there is for CUSD to proudly produce global citizens. And I'm sorry, everyone, I'm having a procedure, so I may sound a little lispy tonight. I do want to take a very solemn moment to acknowledge the ongoing traumatic humanitarian crisis taking place that is no doubt impacting many in our CUSD community, including friends of mine. Thank you to those families who have reached out to ensure that no impacted student goes unseen. To our impacted CUSD teachers and staff, please take care of yourselves first and your families so that you can show up for our students and community the best you can. To all impacted, know that I see you, I hear you, and my voice shakes, but I wholly stand with you and the hope for humanity. My life's work has been dedicated to advancing children's lives, including displaced and refugee children that I have personally worked with. All children deserve protection, safety, and freedom to a future. And so I share sorrow with our Jewish, Palestinian, and Arab impacted communities. Schools are meant to be safe, supportive spaces for learning and thriving for all our children. May we keep that front and center as we come together in community and support one another through these terrible, dehumanizing times. Please do not hesitate to contact our Counseling and Social Services Department for any support or resources you may need. We must confront this terrible crisis together and reject any sentiments of hate and harassment. I hope that one day all children are allowed to run free, play, and live as every child deserves. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Joel, do you have
Just a
anything
quick
new?
comment. I was very pleased with the district's efforts to try to look forward to our future capital needs. It's really hard to determine it sometimes, but it's incredibly important, so I was very pleased to see that.
All right, thank you.
I went to the Teacher of the Year celebrations, and I was just, it was really a celebration of the education community and what our teachers do for our students, and I was quite impressed with all of the candidates that they had for Teacher of the Year and how much they truly cared for their students and wanted their students to succeed and really impacted their lives in a positive way. So it was a great celebration of not only just those teachers, but what public schools do for students. Thank you.
All right, thank you. The only thing I had was to say welcome back from break, everybody. Meeting adjourned.